Welcome to Ben Talks Money. Here we discuss stocks, investments, ETFs, and personal finance.
The market is down again today. The Dow is down almost 600 points at the time of recording. The Nasdaq is down more than 200 points. And it seems like the sellers are in control at the moment. So, is it time to buy the dip or we just have to wait? Hi, welcome back to Ben Talks Money. My name is Ben. I have an MBA in Finance and Management. I've been trading for 8 years and I'm a full-time options trader. So in this video, we'll take a look at the daily chart of the QQQ, the Nasdaq ETF, and the SPY, the S&P 500 ETF to see where the market is heading at. And then we'll take a look at some of the big names, your NVIDIAs, your AMDs, and the Teslas to see where these stocks are currently trading and if there's any opportunity to enter a trade for a long-term hold or we just have to wait for the knife to fall. So let's get started. First, let's take a look at the QQQ, the Nasdaq ETF. If you look at the QQQ, you can see that from the tops about 640, it's been trending down. But in the past couple of weeks, 2 weeks ago on Friday, when it hit the 50-day SMA, it got bought back up to 620. Last week, Friday, it broke below it and it got bought back up again. Today, it came close to it. That's around $600. As soon as it hit $600, the buyers came in, and as of the time of recording, this thing was trading around 603. So it seems like people are willing to buy around the 50-day SMA. And anytime it hits that level, you see the buyers coming in to push this market up. So what do we learn from it? It tells us that as long as the buyers are willing to buy around the 50-day SMA, the market has some form of hope to move back up. So if you want to enter into a trade, you can use the 50-day SMA as your entry and your exit point. I bought some calls here around this area a couple of weeks ago, and I bought a little bit more again today. And the goal is that the market is holding the 50-day SMA. But at any point in time, if it closes the 50-day or if we get to the 50-day moving average and we don't see buyers coming in and it breaks below and it holds below it, I'm out. Let's take a look at the S&P 500. It's exactly the same as the QQQ. So you can see from here, 2 weeks ago on Friday, it broke below the 50-day. The buyers came in, push it up. Last week, Friday, it broke below it. The buyers came in, push it up. Today, as soon as it hit that level again, there were buyers to come in to push it up. So what it tells you is that the 50-day is a strong level for this market. It's a strong level that people who are looking to buy the market, that is their buying level. That is the level that they are looking to buy. Everybody looking to buy is looking at the 50-day SMA. And this is what the chart is telling us. You can see from here, right? That every time it touches the 50-day, there are buyers willing to buy. There are buyers willing to buy. So that is the saving grounds for the market. And if we break below the 50-day, if at any point in time we close below the 50-day on the SPY and the QQQ, it tells you that maybe the buyers are no longer there and the sellers are very much in control. Then we can see that maybe we have to switch our strategy from long to short or something like that. So let's take a look at NVIDIA, because this week NVIDIA is going to move the market one way or the other. They have their earnings on Wednesday, and this is very pivotal. The whole AI trade is in question right now. There are questions about the valuation of the companies. NVIDIA, AMD, Plunge, their valuation has been questioned. So it's up to NVIDIA to deliver. And if they come up with an incredible earnings, and it's not just going to be any earnings, they can't just beat expectations and expect the market to go up. They have to beat it hands down, with no doubt, with no question. That is what it would take to move this market, especially the AI trade. NVIDIA needs to deliver on Wednesday. But if you look at the chart, just like the SPY and the QQQ, the Nasdaq and the S&P 500, NVIDIA has been holding the 50-day SMA incredibly well on so many occasions. If you look at the daily chart right here, you see here that it came into here a month ago, it held it, came in here, it held it, and then we moved back to all-time high. It came back down, and as soon as it touched the 50-day, buyers came in to move this thing up. So it tells you that there is no doubt that the 50-day is something that you should pay attention to if you are not already. If you are a trader, if you are an investor, anybody who is involved in the stock market should pay close attention to the 50-day. I'm not the one telling you. The chart is telling you. The chart is telling you that the 50-day is something that you should pay attention to. See? And if you look at AMD, AMD is actually a little bit stronger than nvda because of recent news that the company has had. But if you look at AMD, to me, the chart is a little bit bullish. You can see that we are holding this area, around the 230 area, and every time we hit the 230 area, we move back up. As soon as it comes into this 230 area, we push back up. We did that today on Friday, a week ago, a couple of weeks ago, and you can see that it's holding the 230 area. So if you're interested in AMD, you might want to use the 230 as your entry and your exit point. The other one that we take a look at is Tesla. So if you look at Tesla, you see this level that I had here. The 400 level is very, very strong for Tesla. Anytime it comes in, it holds it, right? It holds it. But the only thing about Tesla that I don't necessarily like is the fact that it's currently trading below the 50-day SMA. It held it for a long time. You can see from here. It held it for a long time. It held it last week, Friday. It held it a couple of weeks ago on Friday. But, you know, the last 3 trading days, it broke below it. Today, it tried to come back here. It couldn't get close to it, and it pulled back. So, to me, Tesla, if you're interested in Tesla, it needs to break above the 50-day, which is around 430. And a stock like Tesla, it's right now trading around 410. 430 is not that far. So, if you want to be solid about it, if you want a solid entry and a protected zone, you need Tesla to come above the 50-day SMA. And let's take a look at Microsoft. Microsoft, also, this stock needs to also come above the 50-day. It's currently below the 50-day SMA, which is around 514, and it's right now around 507. So it's just about 7 points away, and for $500 stock, you don't want to risk that. You need it to break above the 50-day SMA. Break above the 50-day, close above it on a day, and then you can go in for Microsoft. And let's take a look at Palantir, because this stock has been hit quite a lot. So if you look at Palantir, you know, the news around Palantir is not that encouraging. And again, it has nothing to do with the stock itself. It has nothing to do with the company itself. Their fundamentals are good, just that their valuation is being questioned, right? The stock is one of the most expensive stocks on the market. So even if they deliver, the valuation still comes into question. So for Palantir, now it's holding around the 170 area. You can see that it's also a strong area, the 170 zone. So we need to hold it. And the 50-day is 10 points away. So for Palantir, if it's able to hold 170, maybe you can start a startup position to move it above the 50-day. And if it breaks above the 50-day and hold, you can add to it. And if it breaks below 170, you are out. So if you're getting around 170, it breaks below it. I think the low of the wick is around 168. So you use 168 as your exit. And if it gets above 180, which is the 50-day SMA, you can add to it if it breaks above it. So the last one that we take a look at is SoFi. SoFi respected the 50-day a lot until it did not. See, that's how the thing works. The levels are all valid until they are not. But SoFi, even though SoFi is below the 50-day, you can see here, it's holding this level. It came in, it held the 2660 level. And the 50-day is around $28.14. So there's a lot of room to go. If SoFi holds above 27, you can, just like Palantir, you can start a position around here. And if it breaks above the 50-day, you can add there. And if it breaks below 2660, that'll be your out for SoFi. But overall, the entire market depends on NVIDIA's earning on Wednesday after market. This is going to carry the market one direction or the other. We need NVIDIA to deliver. If NVIDIA delivers, then we can see all these levels being valid. If not, none of this really matter, because there is no positive catalyst in the near term for the market. The Fed, nobody knows if they are going to cut interest rate next month. Right now, the consensus is that there's 40% chance of a rate cut, and that's not something that the market really likes. So there's nothing encouraging for the market right now. Everything depends on NVIDIA. So let's wait and see what NVIDIA is going to do on Wednesday. Hopefully, we can have some momentum coming back into the market and get some upside going to the last weeks of the year. So that's it for the video. If this was helpful to you, please subscribe to the channel, like the video, share, tell a friend to tell a friend, and until next time, let's keep talking money.